Alrighty. So, the Oscars is under fire yet again, in spite of the fact that Hollywood has made concerted efforts to make sure that movies and the Hollywood entirety of it, as well as its award show, are as woke as possible. Regardless of this, they're still being criticized as being racist and misogynistic. And the person in question that is criticizing them this time around is none other than the one who directed that controversial movie, The Woman King. The Woman King director, Gina Prince-Blythewood, laments insidious Oscars shutout of movie that airbrushes slaver tribe. Now, many of you who know about this movie would know that this movie actually whitewashed history, try to depict the bad people in real life in the storyline as the good people in the movie, simply because they are black and what they have in between their legs. Two infinity stones of wokeness, like I usually say. But this time around, it is not earning them what they actually expected, and so this director is angry and is throwing a tantrum and throwing her toys out of the pram because she wasn't nominated for an Oscar. Now, it is really important that we get into this story because some people might not know the actual truth of the movie The Woman King, or do a whole lot of people know about it. But moving forward, we need to stop looking at selective histories that only causes divide and make a certain people look bad and evil and try to make other people look good, regardless of the fact that they too had a bad part to play in the whole slave history. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this story. I'm going to share my opinion with you. Please feel free to share your opinion in that comment section below. Now, without further ado, here we go. The Woman King director, Gina Prince-Blythewood, still can't get over the fact that the Academy voters didn't care for her movie, which was completely shut out of this year's Oscar nominations despite heavy campaigning by Sony. Now, this woman was in an interview, and I actually saw this interview of The Hollywood Reporter. While she was saying all of this, you could tell in her face that she was very, very vexed, because most of these people, because of what they have in between their legs and because of their race, they believe that they are entitled to certain things. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she said many Academy members simply had no desire to see the film. I didn't have any desire to see the film, and I'm not an Academy Award person either. Even Netflix announced that they were putting the film on Netflix last week, and I still didn't have any desire to see the film. She also said systemic and insidious forces were at work that conspired against her and other black female artists. Oh, you mean the black people who actually criticized your movie on Twitter, so much so that boycott or hashtag boycott The Woman King was trending on Twitter? You mean those people were the ones that conspired? Of course I'm disappointed. Who wouldn't be? Especially because there was so much love for our film, said Prince-Blythewood, referring to the movie's box office success. What success are you talking about? Let's look at this thing in the box office and see what it actually did. It did $94 million worldwide, right? $94 million worldwide, domestic and worldwide. However, the budget of the movie is actually $50 million. And in Hollywood, if your film is actually supposed to make any profit, it starts making profit after your movie has done at least 2.5 of the amount. So this movie needed to have done at least 125 million to start making any profit, because the theaters are going to take their cut and the marketing is going to take its cut. The studio is going to take its cut before he starts making any profit. So this movie, according to these numbers that we're seeing, is a box office flop. Yet they want to categorize it as a success because it had one of the worst Septembers that we've ever seen, and was #1 in the worst September anyways. But the Academy Award made a very loud statement, and for me to stay quiet is to accept that statement. I wonder what that statement is: that we don't support black women, we don't support black people, and we don't support women. Racist, misogynistic. So I agree to speak up on behalf of black women whose work has been dismissed in the past, is dismissed now. Seriously, what about all the other black women that have been winning awards from the Oscars? And like I keep on saying, if you people believe that the Oscar is truly racist and misogynistic, why would you expect it? And don't tell me you don't. That's why you're disappointed, because you're still expecting that people who you deem them as racist and misogynistic, yet you're expecting them to do things for you. This is a little bit about the movie. The movie was set in the 19th century. The Woman King tells the true story of an all-female warrior group that protected the West African kingdom of Dahomey. Viola Davis stars as the group's leader who trains her warriors to fight against encroaching European slave traders. That's how they actually placed the movie. However, there's a young lady here that I want to play her clip really quick. She sums this up very beautifully about this movie and gives you the real truth about it. So let's just take a listen real quickly.
I want to show you guys something that I think is key to understanding the legacy of the Ogoje, and that I think would make a really good companion piece for anyone who's just come back from seeing The Woman King. So way back in 2018, maybe even earlier, Lupita Nyong'o was originally supposed to star in The Woman King alongside Viola Davis in the role that would eventually go to Tusu Mbedu. Lupita is so excited about the project that she goes to Benin, the country in West Africa where Dahomey used to be, in order to learn more about the kingdom and the Ogoje. While she's there, she makes a documentary, and y'all, this is a must-watch. Lupita obviously starts off really excited by the legacy of the Ogoje. She's having all these conversations with these people who love and revere the army, who have nothing.
By the way, this is less than 2 hours away from where I was born, by the way, just letting you know. These people, they were pillaging my people to hell.
But good things to say about them. Then she meets a woman whose grandmother was taken from Nigeria by the Ogoje to be a slave in Dahomey. At this point, the illusion surrounding the Ogoje was already starting to unravel, but their conversation shatters it completely. Lupita is undone by the story of this woman who will never know her family, whose grandmother was taken from her home, who condemns everything the Ogoje stood for. It's a heartbreaking conversation, one that brings like the crimes that the Ogoje committed into much clearer perspective.
Somebody else actually clearly pointed out, which is the opposite of the things that we saw in the movie or that was portrayed in the movie, because I've never seen the movie. I will still see it at some point. And this is what this other person posted. And like, as you can see, most of the people posting this thing did not like the movie. They said boycott Woman King, hashtag boycott the Woman King. Now, this person posted this information saying in 1851, 1852, the British imposed a naval blockade on the ports of Dahomey in order to force them to end the slave trade. In January 1852, Gezo accepted a treaty with the British ending the port of slaves from Dahomey. So it wasn't like at this point in time, the white people were trying to come in there, make them a slave or whatever. I mean, they weren't trying to come in there to come and keep buying slaves. They were actually trying to stop them at this point. So this goes to show you that history is very selective. They always make white people look like as if they're the bad people. However, in reality, it is not. And when they talk about the success of this movie, they keep on talking about this success on Rotten Tomatoes because I think it had a 99%. Have you ever seen any movie have a 99% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes? Well, this movie kind of had a 99% audience score, but we all know that this is false because most of these audience ratings are all kind of like generic, and so you know they cook the books in Rotten Tomatoes. Love the movie. Brings action and heritage right in your face. I love it. Does that seem like somebody who actually saw the movie? Somebody said very relaxing, great movie. Another person says this movie was a ride from beginning to end. Definitely will watch again. Go try look at the audience comments when it comes to Velma and you'll see real audience comments. This is not comments like these are all generic things made by whatever. They try to protect this movie as much as they can because I have never ever seen where the audience score is higher than a critic score for a woke movie. I've never seen, maybe it exists, but for a woke movie, no. So there you have it. So as you can see, you guys, despite the fact that this movie was based on a lie, whitewashing of history, despite the fact that black people did not like this movie, many people exposed this movie for the lie that it was, despite the fact that the movie didn't do well at the box office, this woman, this director still expected that she should be given an award or at the very least be nominated. This is the height of entitlement that these people have. And what is her reason behind this? Simply because she is a woman and she is black.